Good morning, friends. Welcome to my kitchen one more time. So this morning we've got up, we've had our coffee and everything. I was about to make biscuits, and I've been making my biscuits several different ways, but this way that I'm going to make them this morning and show you guys is how my grandmother always made it. This is how the old Southerners used to make their biscuits. So I thought, why not just turn my camera on and take you guys along this morning as we make our biscuits. So I've got this bowl, and I just keep flour in this bowl. It was full, but as I've made biscuits, it has gotten lower. This is White Lilley flour, and I've got it sifted real good. So we've got our flour in here, and I'm gonna bring y'all over here. Now I know you can't see my face, but I want you to see how I do this. So we're gonna make a little well in the middle of our flour, and I just get my hand like this. Then I press down and around, and I'm just making a little well, a hollow hole. I just press that flour because we're gonna put our shortening and our milk down in this hole, and we don't want it to run into all the other flour. So we're gonna make it just as nice as you please, enough to pour our milk and stuff in. All right, we've got our hole. Can you guys see that well? Then I'm gonna get my shortening, and I'm using the Crisco that has butter mixed in with it, but you can use whatever Crisco you want. You can use lard, whatever works for you. But I'm gonna take some big clumps. This is about the size of a large egg. Drop it in there. I'm gonna take 2 and put them in there. All right. Next, I'm gonna take my buttermilk, and I'm just gonna pour it in this hole like that. And then I'm gonna take my fingers, and I'm just gonna mix this buttermilk and this shortening together. You just want to get it all pinched up and mixed together, and try to keep it in that hole as good as you can. If it gets outside of the hole and onto the flour, it'll be okay, because before you use this flour again, you're going to want to sift it. And this is how my grandma always made biscuits. When we were growing up, I can remember her, and she would just do it fast. I'm not as fast as she is. But I tell you, it's summertime right now, and we have had stuff coming in the garden, and we've got tomatoes, and we like to have a good tomato biscuit in the mornings. You just take you a biscuit and cut it open, and you slice you a biscuit and a piece of tomato, and you just put that tomato inside that biscuit and put you some salt and pepper on it. And it is fine. So that's what we like to do with our biscuits. Y'all can comment and let me know how y'all like to eat y'all's biscuits. Usually the summertime is the only time we do that, because we got those fresh tomatoes coming in. So I'm getting it clumped up. Now I like to get it like, it's gonna look kind of like this. Now, it has been dry here. We're in Mississippi, and it's the end of July. And I tell you, we got the first rain that we have had in weeks last night. And it rained, and we were so excited about that rain. Y'all have been without rain, y'all know exactly how we feel. We've been having to water our plants and keep them hydrated. All right, so we got that in there like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this flour on the outside, and we're going to work this flour in to make our dough. So you just kind of pull your flour. You don't go outside the rim. You're just going to kind of pull what flour you've got right here in. See, I went outside the rim, but it's going to be all right, because we'll just mix that in. love biscuits, especially Justin. He likes to have a biscuit in the morning. If he don't have any meat with it, that's perfectly fine with him. He'll put in some jelly or syrup on his. He's got Brody outside with him because he was wanting to whine too much. And he didn't want me to film, so his daddy took him out with him. Now, if you don't want your dough to get too dry, if it starts getting too dry, you're going to have to add some more milk. And like right now, I'm going to add a little more buttermilk to mine. Because you want your dough to be soft. You don't want it to be a hard dough. And I'm just going to tell you, I don't go by the measurements on this because you never know how much milk you're going to need. You just know you want soft biscuits. Now, what I'm going to do, y'all can see all my dirty dishes over there. So I'm going to take me some flour and I'm going to put it on this cutting board right here. You can put it on whatever surface you want, but what we're going to do is we're going to just throw some flour on here because we're going to put our dough on top of there. And you can take your fingers and scrape all that ooey gooey dough that's hanging on your fingers off. And you can flour your fingers. And we're going to just pick our dough up as easy as we can. And I'm going to transfer it. Push that out of the way. We got our dough on here. And I'm just going to take and fold it a few times. You can do hand roll biscuits, or whatever you want to do. Y'all, I'm going to go and clean my hands off so it's easier to work with because I did not grease my skillet before I started doing all this. I usually have my skillet already greased, but I didn't this morning. So I'm going to go clean my hands and stuff off, and I will be right back. All right, so I'm back over here. And I'm going to I got me some shortening in my hand. I'm just going to do it with my hand on my skillet. And I've got one of these flat, it's like a griddle type. And I'm just going to do my biscuits on there. I make a mess when I'm making biscuits. I don't know about y'all, but it's all right. It can clean up. All right. I'm going to put me some flour on my hands. And I'm going to do this dough one more time. You can make them as thick as you want them. Take my cookie cutter and get some flour on it. You know, with the way prices of groceries are going up, you can pretty much, if you don't have nothing to eat for supper, and you're on a tight grocery budget, you can pretty much make biscuits and gravy and get you a little meat or something. It's always cheap to make biscuits. We're just going to make a little Brody biscuit. Nothing fancy. But these may spread out because I didn't have enough biscuits to make a full pan. That's why I said you can make as many as you want to when you're doing them like this in the bowl. So they're probably going to spread out a little bit and not be as thick because there's not anything around the side to keep it from spreading. But now if I had a full pan, they would stay big and fluffy. But we're gonna go ahead and I've got to preheat my oven. I'm gonna preheat my oven to, let me get down here where you guys can see me. I'm gonna push this camera up and let you guys look at it. Wait, you're not looking down while I'm talking. So I'm gonna preheat my oven to 500 degrees. Now, if you're not comfortable at 500 degrees, but it's important that you cook your biscuits on a high temperature, not on broil, but on regular bake on a high temperature. That way your biscuits stay nice and fluffy and soft on the inside. If you cook them on a low temperature, they're gonna take longer to cook. And so they're gonna be a little more hard on the inside. So I'm gonna go over here and cut my stove on. Better make sure I ain't got nothing else in there. Sometimes I throw that. The higher the oven temp is, the faster your biscuits are gonna cook. And so it's not gonna take as long. So if you've been cooking your biscuits on 400, well, it's gonna be a shorter cook time if you're cooking them on 500. So you might better watch them because they'll burn. So while this is heating up, I'm gonna let y'all go and I'll be back here in a minute. So now that I've got my oven preheated, we're just gonna stick these biscuits in here, and I'm gonna put mine on the top rack so the bottom don't burn. I'm just gonna stick them in there, and it's probably gonna take about maybe 10 minutes, if that long, for these to bake. Now, it's according to how dark you like your biscuits on top. Now, I don't like really dark, almost burnt biscuits. I like mine real soft and light colored, so that's just your preference. But I do want to show you how I'm going to sift this flour after we used it, so that we can just put the cloth on top of it and stick it back in the cabinet. Now I just take my sifter and I'm going to put it like this, and I'm just going to hold it over here. And I may not get all the parts. Leave some of the little crumbs in there. I've heard, I haven't had it happen, but I've heard that it can mold. Like if you have old clumps of milk left in there, that it could mold. And I don't want my flour mold. I don't want to have to pour the whole thing out. So it's right now it's a pretty day outside. I figure it's gonna be real hot again. We've been having 100-degree weather. And it has been unbearably hot here in the south. So today we're going to make some pottery. And I've got some canning to do. I've got some peas. I'm going to experiment with canning peas for the first time this year. I usually just blanch them and freeze them, but this year we're going to try to can them. And then I've already been canning some green beans. We've been getting green beans here and there. It's been so dry that we have had trouble with our green bean plants trying to live. So we have only been getting, I think I've probably canned 8 pints so far, but I've got some more green beans I'm going to do today. So we've got a lot of piddling we're going to do today. But we're going to let these biscuits cook, and when they get finished, I'm going to come back and we're going to show y'all how we're going to eat these biscuits. Okay guys, so I think that our biscuits are ready to be taken out. If you wanted to leave yours in there for a little darker, you're welcome to do that. So I'm going to get these biscuits taken out, so I'm going to lay y'all to the side for a minute. Justin's eating his biscuit this morning with a blueberry jelly instead of a tomato. I know I told y'all he liked tomato biscuits, but he chose jelly this morning.
This is homemade blueberry jelly she made too.
Is it good?
Delicious. We're gonna have to go pick blueberries and make some more.
Thank you guys for following along and watching this video. I hope that it can help somebody to make some country style southern biscuits. So if you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button, comment, let me know what you think about this recipe, and if you make them and you like them, comment and let us know how you like them. Y'all have a good day.